Shady Race came to us, which they were referred to us by a friend of mine, and they came to us with the concept that was written by a creative director, really awesome creative director named Sean Cunningham out of Atlanta, who has his own like little shop these days. And they came to us like, okay, this is the idea, this is the script, let's execute this in a way that is appealing to the audience, right? And my first thought in seeing that this brief was like, yeah, it is a spy comedy Hollywood movie. Let's make it feel like that. And that story that you were referring to is about the control room, right? We put a lot of time and effort in making sure that control room looked the part. And if you think about it, and if you look closely, if you rewatch, you'll see that no control room in the universe probably looks like this, right? Like there's things that just wouldn't, like the servers in the back, they wouldn't be there. You should have a room dedicated to it. There's like things in this, the maps visually don't make sense, but it all works because it appeals to anyone's reference material when it comes to like sci-fi movies or CIA movies or James Bond movies, right? And it's playing on those tropes, which is something that you can do a lot with comedy, which is something I absolutely love doing with comedy. Like play on those tropes and those reference that people have, whether or not they're like avid cinema goers or really have a strong knowledge base in movies that you have, everybody has seen enough movies that they have those kind of like subconscious reference. So, there's a lot in this one in the way we shot it, the way we approach each parts of the story, and like, again, playing on those tropes, right? I mean, I describe this one these days, it's like Spy Kids meet James Bond, the spy comedy, that's the original idea. But yeah, that story with the control room, so we had a fairly limited budget for this. They're not a giant brand. I think they make great sunglasses, but they're not a giant brand. So they didn't have a ton of money, but they have a cool concept. And our one thing, at OCKHAM, our philosophy has always been like, especially when we were brought great ideas, let's push this and try to make something that looks really cool. So we try always to kind of like put as much money possible or as much thoughts in what's gonna go on screen. And so that control room was a regular conference room in modern downtown San Diego building that you could rent for a fee that we dressed. There was an empty space, but it had those big windows that were nice because we could like push light from outside, and it had this big wall. So if you look at it closely, the whole wall of monitor that the characters are looking towards, this is all CG. So it was green screen, and we did that in post. Everything else in the room is practical. So, just lined up a bunch of tables, put a bunch of monitors on them. There's looping images with like Bondish sci-fi looking maps on it, right? It's like a looping video on a monitor, right? What is in the monitor, we made ourselves. We made the loops to have consistency and have like a look with that blue lights, coming, pushing through. The server racks in the back, I was very, very happy with that. I wanted server racks in the back that gives depth to the scene. And again, subconsciously, it just puts you in a space of like, oh, okay, it's a control room, right? Like it sells the idea within a very short span of time. I mean, you have like maybe less than 10 seconds in that control room. And yet I'm sure that if you ask your audience after the fact, they'll explain what happened. They can give you a sense of who the characters are, what kind of space it is, right? So that's all little details in the background that you may not even register on the first watch, but that your brain does register. So that server rack, our director was like, yeah, we can get a server rack, but we would have to like go to a prop house in LA. It's going to cost a lot of money to rent it. Plus we got to send somebody a truck and whatever and bring it and bring it back. Big complex thing. And we didn't have enough in the budget. And she's awesome at finding some creative ways to make something work. She found the cage for the server rack on Facebook Marketplace for like $500 or something. No servers in there, right? Just a cage. And so she bought, and the guy could deliver to our set. So it was perfect. Like take out all the logistical things that, are annoying. And then she put foam board, black foam board inside those cage, pierced holes in them, maybe like 100 holes. I don't know, a lot of holes. And puts little small LED lights in there controlled by a little controller. It blinks and it gives you the idea, and it's quick enough that nobody would ever know that it's not a real server rack. But it's actually even better because a real server rack will probably not blink enough that you would notice it.